So welcome to week 2 of family law practice, and let me hope that we are going to simplify the complicated. But before we begin, today we are motivated by Albert Einstein quote, which basically states that you cannot solve a problem with the same mindset that you created it with. So that's Albert Einstein. So basically today we're going to do with family law practice, but I wish you success in your category B exams, and I will do my best that in the weekend I can come and give you a high-level summary on professional conduct, legal writing, as well as ADR. So I will make 3 separate videos, which will basically give you a recap of all of those 3 topics in the weekend. So please don't miss those videos. They will help you to pass your exams the other week. But having said that, let us today simplify family law, and I'm going to heavily rely on both the Constitution and the Children's Act. And I think, not even thinking, but I strongly submit that the children law is covered well by the Act. So basically, as we begin, this week is dedicated to children's matters, meaning of a child. So we have to understand that we have a definition of a child from the Constitution. When you look at Article 34, basically subsection 5, they say that for the purposes of clause 4 of this article, children shall be persons under the age of 18 years. So when you go to the Children's Act, and basically the interpretation section, they define a child to mean a person below the age of 18 years. So they repeat the definition of the Constitution, and that's basically in section 2 of the Children's Act, Cap 62. So the welfare principle is encroached, of course, in the African Charter of Children's Rights, section 4, and also the United Nations Charter on the Rights of Children, section 3, and also in the Constitution. When you look at Article 34, subsection 1, they say that the laws enacted in the best interest of the child, and also further retaliated in section 34 of the Children's Act, subsection 1, which says that in all the matters to do with the children shall have the right to know and be cared for by their parents, but subject to the laws enacted in their best interest. So basically, when you look at section 3, they say that the welfare of the children shall be paramount consideration whenever the court is dealing with children matters. That's section 3 of Cap 62. So basically, in simple terms, the best interest principle means that whenever you are dealing with any matter to do with the child, then you must make sure that you are putting the children's interest at hand. And even section 3, subsection 3 of the Children's Act has gone further to give you what these best interests are, or what court should look into. They talk about the feeling and wishes of the child, the physical, emotional, and educational needs, the likely effects of any change, the child's sex, age, and background, and any harm that the child has suffered or is at the risk of suffering. So basically, that's what we call the best interest principle. Then we shall look at children welfare remedies, which include declaration of parentage. So declaration of parentage is whereby you are doubting whether the children are yours and you want to go to court. Basically, that's when it's under section 110 of the Children's Act, which provides for declaration of parentage, then application for the parentage, proceedings of an application for parentage, and proof of parentage. So like here where we do DNA tests, which was previously a common practice among men. So custody and maintenance of the children. So we shall also look at custody, and custody is also a creature of the Children's Act. Basically, when you look at the Children's Act, it also provides for custody and who can apply for custody of the children. Then we also looked at the supervision orders, interim care order, and also interim supervision orders. So all these ones are provided for by the Children's Act. you have to look at them and then understand them, because this can be an oral question. So supervision orders are under section 48, which provides for application for supervision order. So basically this is where they have given you children, but they want to supervise them, so that becomes a supervision order. Then we also have supervision orders and care orders under section 45 of the Children's Act. And basically, when we talk about custody, is the one who's going to live with the children, and the custody of children is under section 116 of the Children's Act. We have interim custody order under section 117 and custody by agreement under section 118. So those are oral questions. They can ask you orders which can be granted by court in family proceedings. So those are the examples. We talked about supervision order, contribution order, exclusion order, search and production order, recovery order, etc. So supervision order, we talked about it. Contribution order is whereby you also have to contribute the welfare of the children. Exclusion order, maybe you was not supposed to access the children. Search and production order and recovery order. So guardianship is also covered by the Children's Act. And when we talk about guardianship, it's guardianship, because guardianship here is on section 73. We have legal guardianship. These ones are always appointed by court. We have customary guardianship under section 75, which are appointed by will, and also joint guardianship under section 77, which can be where guardianship is given in two people. So foster care applications. So we looked at foster care applications under section 72, and foster care application is where a child is already in the foster home. So is already in a remand home or an approved home. So I mean approved home, not remand home, because the remand home is the one where they put those ones who have been against the law. These are ones are called approved home or babies homes. So where someone is in an approved home, then you can apply for foster. Then we also look at foster care applications, conditions and procedures for fostering children, duties of foster parents, adoption, national and intercountry adoption, prerequisites for and the procedure for adoption of the children, the role of the different security and welfare of the children, such as the National Children Authority. So the National Children Authority is in section it's in section 11 of the Children's Act, and the functions want to advise the government on formulation of the national child protection policy, create awareness on the rights of the child, consult relevant ministries, recommend legal, administrative or other reforms required for the effective implementation of the national policy, monitor the implementation of laws relating to all forms of children abuse, monitor the process of all investigations and criminal proceedings, and recommend measures to address humanitarian concern relating to children. So that can be an oral question. You have to look at them, because in an oral question they can ask you about that. Then we also looked at the role of different institutions and offices charged with the duty of ensuring the protection, safety, security and welfare of children, such as the National Children Authority, the Probation and Social Welfare Officer. So the Probation and Social Welfare Officer is always, or on every district, they are responsible to deal with the matters of the children. These are what we call social welfare officers, and we shall look at them when we are doing what? When we are applying for adoptions, because they have to give reports. So they really play a very important role. So, and that can also be our oral question. Examine what is the function or the role of the social welfare officer. Then we look at approved homes. So approved homes, this is where the babies are kept, like the baby is home. And approved homes should be distinguished from remand homes. Remand homes is for juvenile justice. Those ones are the juvenile who have offended the law are kept in remand homes. But here we are talking about approved homes, not remand homes. The Uganda Police, the local council, government court, the local government council, the courts, family and children court, High Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. So workshop 1, by the end of this workshop, students should be able to advise on the children's rights and all the child protection and welfare orders which the law provides for, such as the declaration of parentage. I think we looked at the declaration of parentage, and basically that's in section 110 of the Children's Act, where you are doubting that the children you have are not yours, you go for the declaration of parentage. Then also have child protection and welfare orders which the law provides for such declaration of parentage. Custody, we also looked at custody under section 116 of the Children's Act. Basically, if the parents are contending of who should stay with the children. Then maintenance and care orders, these ones are also provided under section 121, application for children and maintenance orders of the Children's Act. Then also we looked at protection orders, where one of the spouses is violent, you can go for protection, contribution, recovery, care, supervision, exclusion, and supervision orders. So to demonstrate the application of the welfare principle and other considerations which must be taken into account in deciding matters of the children. So we talked about the welfare principle from the UN Charter to the African Charter on Children's Rights to the Constitution to the Children's Act. But basically, in simple terms, it means that in all matters to do with the children's, then their feelings or their interests must be taken at heart, and has been re-emphasized in a lot of case law in the matter of Princaria, Victoria Babidge, Infant. All these cases have really re-emphasized the best interest principle. Then demonstrate the application of the welfare principle and other considerations which must be taken into account in deciding matters of the children. These are under section 3, subsections of the Children's Act. Draft the various applications for child welfare orders, such as an application for custody, interim custody, maintenance, declaration of parentage, and an agreement on custody of a child, as well as the relevant court orders. So present and prosecute an application for custody, interim custody of a child, maintenance, and declaration of parentage of a child, as well as other relevant applications necessary for ensuring the welfare of the child. So identify and deal with ISCO matters that may arise in the course of executing instruction of this nature. So basically, here we shall look at different ISCO issues, both from the lawyers, but also from the police, from the local council authority, from the approved homes not to take bribes, also the social welfare officer not to take bribes. Then that's the introduction. Of course, we shall look at different case law as here stated. So part A, brief facts. Oscar Tinimweba cohabited with his girlfriend Salama Nancha, and they were blessed with a baby who was born on 12/1/2019. Oscar named her Cinderella. They separated in June 2020 because they had irreconcilable differences. When they separated, Nancha took Cinderella to her mother, who lives at Chimienda in Buyuke district. Oscar has since been paying money to Nancha for Cinderella's upkeep. Cinderella is malnourished. Haji Bintu struggles to provide for her, as she has no regular source of income. When she leaves her home in search of odd jobs, Haji Bintu leaves Cinderella on her own. So in June 2023, so basically there we shall be looking at custody of the children, where this one can apply for custody. Then in June 2023, Nancha got married to Muhammad Nechiru Ndetyo and lives with him at Nankwero, Gayaza. On 30/11, Oscar received a video recording showing Cinderella standing near and watching a rascal who was smoking weed. Oscar was shocked, and he's still very disturbed over the Cinderella's safety. When Oscar confronted Nancha over Cinderella's well-being, Nancha told him that he was not the father of the children and that he should not bother her ever again. So basically here we are looking at custody of the children, application for custody of the children, interim custody order, but also declaration of parentage. So Oscar will do anything to prove that he is Cinderella's father now that he is happy married. Oscar believes that it is high time he lived with Cinderella so that she can get to know her sister's brother and Oscar's family. Oscar is employed as the Information and Communication Technology Officer at the Uganda Institute for Legal Studies and earns a salary of 10 million Uganda shillings per month and monthly allowances, million shillings. Oscar runs several private businesses, also owns big plantations of coffee, cocoa, and vanilla. So basically, it's therefore in the best interest of the child because this one can take care of the child with education and all other needs. So that's why the examiner is giving you those facts. So Oscar and his family live in a spacious 5-bedroom house. It's serviced by self-contained servants quarters and a self-contained guest wing. This home is on a 5-acre piece of land which is situated at Seta. Oscar's wife maintains a banana plantation, various food crops, and a variety of fruits and vegetables on this land, as well as hens, goats, rabbits, and 2 Frisians poultry farm. She ensures that their children are involved in preparing meals, doing housework, cleaning their home, gardening, and all her home and all her income generating projects. Oscar and his wife are very keen on maintaining their spacious and well-maintained compound trim and clean. Oscar's wife works at home and has agreed to receive and nurture Cinderella. Oscar's other desires is that Cinderella should study at Namagunga Boarding Primary School. Interviews for admission of children for primary 1 are scheduled for. Oscar wants students to sit this interview. So when Oscar visited Haji Bintu and asked her to allow him to talk to Cinderella, Haji Bintu declined to hand over Cinderella to Oscar because she does not know him. She is ready to hand over the child to her daughter Nancha, has vowed not to hand over the child Oscar. So advise Oscar on the remedies available to him in the interim and in the long run. So basically here you have to go to the interim custody order. Then after that you go for the custody of children, which is in the long run, and we shall draft the documents for application for interim custody order and also application for custody of the children. But also we also have declaration of parentage. We also have to apply to declare parentage, but I think we can do it in one application, where we seek for declaration of parentage as well as custody. So part B, you are now employed by ASONI, an organization based in Uganda which provides legal and pro bono services to the indigent and disadvantaged people in Uganda. The executive director of ASONI has instructed you to handle people in Uganda. The executive director of ASONI has instructed you to handle the matter of Blessing Babidi, a girl aged 1. Blessing's mother abandoned her at the funeral and she is now in the hands of Sarone Baiga, the Secretary for Children's Affairs of Ruba Village, Vingiri. The Secretary for Children's Affairs of Ruba Village cannot provide for these children because she is a single mother and she has no regular income and is always saddled with such matters. The local council chairman has no means to look after the children. Police has requested the said Secretary for Children Affairs to help keep the child until a solution is found. The local council chairman buys monetary contribution from residents in the area for maintenance of such children, but they can only make a partial contribution because they are also very poor people. Prepare legal opinion for the executive director on what can be done to ensure the protection and welfare of Blessing Babidia. So basically here, in my view, I think we should proceed under section 72. Because when you look at section 72, it provides section 72 basically provides for conditions for foster care placement where a child has been committed to an approved home under a care order. The district probation and social welfare officer, in conjunction with the warden of the approved home, may place the child with a person who is willing to undertake the care and maintenance of the child. 2. An application to foster the child shall be made to the district probation and social welfare officer, except that the relative of the child without a parent or guardian may foster the child without first applying to the district probation and social welfare officer. So a foster parent in whose care a child is committed shall, while the child remains in his or her care, have the same responsibilities for the maintenance of the child. Foster care placement shall be made in accordance with the rules set out in Schedule 3 of this Act. So basically, you see here, we have to take this child into a foster, into an approved home, and then that's when we can see whether we can find him any person to live with them. But firstly, I think the first remedy is to do what? To take him into the approved home. And of course, they are saying that that they can only approve the child when there is an interim care order. So unless it's by police, there must be because an application to foster the child shall be made to the district probation and social welfare officer, except that a relative of the child without a parent or guardian may foster the child without first applying to the district probation and social welfare officer. So if it's a parent, so foster care placement shall be made in accordance with the rules set out in Schedule 3 to this Act. So I think we have to go into those rules, and then we do what? We proceed under them. So Part C, Sarah Mudu and Stephen Kaskano are the biological parents of Flower Kaskano, a girl aged 16, Frederick Kaskano, a boy aged 15, and Blessing Kaskano, a boy aged 14. Flower and Frederick study at Chiburi SS. Blessing is a student of Ntari School. Sarah Madu is a senior executive in Bank of Uganda, while Stephen is an surgeon. Sarah and Stephen have been cohabiting for 16 years now, but have agreed to separate because of irreconcilable differences. Each of them dearly loves their children. They would like to ensure the best education and upbringing of their children, and they are ready and willing to always discuss and find amicable solutions in respect of matters concerning these children. So Sarah and Stephen are due to travel overseas in the second week of December over their official work, but before they do so, they would like to settle the matter of custody of their children without any public whatsoever. Advise Sarah on and Stephen on the most suitable remedy available to them. So here we have custody by agreement. So I think they should proceed under this section, custody by agreement, under section 118, and then they agree. So in view of the remedy which I have advised upon above and consideration of the ideal documents, what further information and evidence will you obtain from them? So basically here you want to know how will the children be upkeep, will you all contribute, how much, when will you come to visit, like those questions. But the document here would be a custody agreement. So in Mkono Family and Children Cause number 5 of 2023, the Honorable Magistrate issued the order labeled AA, the mother of the child in question. In August 24, the respondent, who is the biological father of this child, was dismissed from National Water and Sewerage Corporation. He has proof of the fact the respondent now does all these jobs and can only pay per month. The mother of this child is now employed as an office attendant in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning. She earns 3 million. Advise the respondent what he should do in order to ensure the child's welfare. So basically here the respondent, I think we are looking at variation of what? Variation of the maintenance order. And the necessary documents we shall be applying to vary the what? The maintenance order. So supposing that the respondent was confronted by Mary, who told him that he is the father of this child and showed him a DNA report in proof of this claim. Furthermore, the respondent brother assisted him to obtain DNA reports from South Africa and Nairobi, which confirmed that Mary is the biological father of his child. Advised the respondent to draft the necessary documents. So I think we shall go for declaration of what? Of parentage. That's the application we want to make, a declaration of parentage. And declaration of parentage is under section 110. So section 110 provides that. When we read section 110, they provide that the Family and Children Court, which an application is made for declaration of parentage, shall issue summons the person alleged to be the father or mother before the court on a day named. So basically I think here we're going for declaration of parentage under section 112 of the part of the Children's Act. So that was it for workshop 1. Let us proceed to workshop 2. So but before we go there, students are advised to read and appreciate all the areas which are not specifically rights of the children generally. So rights of the children is under section sections 4 of the Children's Act provides for general rights of the children, but also they flow from Article 34 of the Constitution. So Article 34 read together with Section 4 of the Children's Act gives you the rights of what? Of the children. Right to stay with their father and mother, right to education, right to maintenance, all those things. So all child welfare orders provided under this Children's Act as amended, including the procedure for seeking each and relevant documents where applicable. So basically here we are looking at supervision order, we are looking at discovery orders, the ones we didn't look at, visiting orders, so principles of relevant procedure and the nature of applications and documents relating to foster care. So basically here we looked at foster care, and we said that foster care applies where a person is put in approved homes, and we looked at approved homes when we are dealing with one of these tasks, and approved homes are basically under Section 99 of the Children's Act. So when you look at Section 99 of the Children's Act, basically what they are saying is that admission of children to homes 100. So an approved home shall only receive children in the following ways: an emergency situation of a police officer, probation and social welfare officer, or on an interim care order or a care order. So those are the documents we're supposed to list in the task above. Then all the powers and duties of the probation and social welfare officer in children matters. Of course, the social and welfare officer has a lot of powers. One, of course, gives a report in adoption orders, both international and also national. So he really, almost on each section, you find that they want you a report or recommendation from a social welfare officer. But he really does a lot of work as far as the children matters are concerned. So all the powers and duties, the probation, we look at that. The role of alternative care panel in matters of intercountry adoption in Uganda. So intercountry adoption, they are covered under Section 80. Section 80. Basically, Section 80, 89, 86 provides for jurisdiction, and we have also intercountry adoption under Section 88. Then the role of the local government, local councils, the family and children's court, the high court, and the court of appeal. So basically, the family and children's court is also a creature of the Children's Act. We have the children's court under Section 138, family and children's court, role of local council courts under Section 137 of the Children's Act. So you have to look at those sections. And also in protecting and ensuring the children's matters. So workshop 2, explain the principles of law on and the procedures of fostering a child. Demonstrate the application of the principles of law on adoption in Uganda, national and intercountry adoption. Demonstrate the application of the principles of law on guardianship of children in Uganda. Draft a petition for an adoption order and a petition for a guardianship order and the relevant court orders. Present and prosecute a petition for adoption on the one hand, and the other identify and deal with ISCO issues. So basically here, let me first take some time to distinguish between guardianship, adoption, and foster. So I've said foster applies when the child is already in a remand home. That's when you can apply to foster a child. Then guardianship is you can take guardianship of a child up to when he's 18 years. Then adoption, you become a parent in law. You take all the responsibilities of a parent, and this is eternity. Whereas guardianship, it can cease when the child gets 18 years. So that's what you have to understand. So we go to, there are cases there on guardianship, adoption, but let us go to brief facts. But please, in case you want a discussion, a very supportive community, very good notes, we have a mastermind group where members pay an affordable fee to support our research, and then they get to receive high quality notes, well drafted documents, as well as you see what were the comments from the PAs from different farm homes. So please, we are not stopping. We shall have an holiday package. Come and do the holiday package with us, where we shall repeat all our workshop from where we started up to how far we have gone. So it's a very good thing to recap and basically be conversant with the law before we go through the oral preparations. So part A. My name is Mario Rando. I was born in I'm a Ugandan. I work and live in Canada. I have been living in Canada for 10 years now. I hail from Kamidin village. I own a 6-acre piece of land where my home is. I own Kamidin Millers Limited. I'm also the biggest sim grower in northern Uganda. My only brother Jack Ubwangim, who died in January 2020, was biological father of Santa Lokot, who is now 8 years old. I took responsibility for Santa Lokot. Santa Lokot mother died 3 days after giving birth to Santa. She has been living with my mother and sister at my home in Kamadin. I've been paying tuition for Santa since February 2020 and providing for all the other needs. I travel to Uganda very often and also spend my annual leave in Uganda. I will return to Canada in March, and I wish to travel with Santa and live with her in Canada so that she can grow up with my children. Besides, my mother is now very old and she's always sickly. She's now confined in a wheelchair. She is unable to take Santa to hospital. To follow up visiting her. My mother's bedside nurse can't look after Santa in the way I desire. My other relatives live in hard to reach places and have now means to provide for Santa. So give Maria Lando a formal legal opinion on the range of remedies that the law provides in this situation in respect of Santa Lakot, and advise her in view of her desire on the ID remedy which respect to Santa Lakot. So basically here we have a lot of remedies, but basically we shall proceed under guardianship. We have legal guardianship, we have customary guardianship, we have joint guardianship. So basically section 73. So this one can apply for either because customary guardianship is the one who is appointed under a will. So this one can apply to be a legal guardian of the child. So what further information and evidence do you require from her in order to seek the ID remedy in respect of Santa Lokot? So basically, one, will this child be allowed to stay with you in Canada? So you have to get that information. Can you get us proof that this child will be allowed to stay with you in Canada where you are going? So that's the kind of information you want to get. Will your husband be happy about it? So basically that kind of questioning. So assume that you have been obtained all the information and evidence you required with the legal documents. Assume that you successfully presented and prosecuted the application and court delivered a ruling in favor of your client. Draw the relevant court order. So draw the legal documents. So basically here we are going for what? For petitioning for guardianship. So we are going for guardianship, and we shall also extract a court order to that effect. Then B. Before I return to Canada, I also wish to deal with the matter of my niece's land. My late brother Jack bought a piece of land known as Buyukwe Broke. The Uganda National Roads in the final stages of approving the road design for their proposed Buyukwe Tarmac Road. URA will take over various pieces of land, including Buyukwe Broke. I attended a number of meetings with officers. UNRWA will pay compensation to other people whose land it will cover. We were asked to present a certificate of title under land. When I presented the certificate of title, consult a lawyer who would advise me on what to do. Advise money. So basically, when I want to deal with any property which is in the names of the minor, you have to petition to be a legal guardian, and you have to show to court that what I want to use the money is for what is in the best interest of the child. So basically that's what I want to do. To do what? To petition to be get guardianship. To get a guardianship order, basically to use that land, because you cannot use it when it was in the minor's name. You have to show to court that of course you are going to use those proceeds in the best interest of of the child, and you must first be a guardian, but also you're applying to vest that land into your name, so as you can get what? You can get that money. So assume that you have obtained all the information and evidence you require, draw the legal documents, assume that you are successfully presented application, draw the relevant court order. So basically court order is what? Which is vesting the what? Which is allowing us to go and obtain that money in our own names, because we want to be given legal guardianship of the child, so as we can access money of that property. But basically what you have to prove to court is that the money will be used to benefit the child. So Miss Lisa Williams statement: my name is Lisa Williams. I'm married to Judd Williams. We have been married for 10 years now. We are Australians. My husband is a social worker. I am a midwife. We are employed by Hope for Every Child, an international organization based in Australia. We have 2 biological children, Erica Williams, aged 10, and Ezekiel Williams, aged 5. We came to Uganda in January 2023. We live at Kansana Church. Doreen Dembe, the senior probation and social welfare officer, Masaka, informed us about the plight of a little girl called Sarah Naku. Sarah Naku is 7 years old. In January 2024, her mother, Monica Mangu, a Ugandan, abandoned her and her 2 brothers in their mud and Watu house in Masaka. Her mother was well-known alcoholic. Sarah does not know and has never met her father or the father of any of her brothers. Being the oldest child, Sarah had to look after her brothers when their mother abandoned them. The CPCWO has not found out any of these children's relatives. The local council 2 chairman does not know of any relative of these children. Upon my request, the CPCWO allowed us to live with these children, and she obtained some orders from a court in order to enable us to lawfully live with these children. The SPCWO social welfare officer subsequently placed Sarah's brothers in Hope Children's Home, and we remained with Sarah. Advised us about fostering Sarah, and we did so from 5. So we returned to Australia and would like to go and live with him. Advised Lisa Williams on remedy available to her. So basically here we are dealing with inter-country adoptions, and they are covered under section 88 of the Children's Act. But basically when you look at section 88 of the Children's Act, they talk about firstly we begin from 86. The High Court has jurisdiction where one of the applicants is a non-citizen. Then we go to 88. A person who is not a citizen of Uganda may in exceptional circumstances adopt a Uganda child if he or she has stayed in Uganda for at least 1 year, has fostered the child for at least 1 year, does not have a criminal record, has a recommendation concerning his or her suitability to adopt a child from his or her country's probation and welfare officer, has satisfied the court that his or her country of origin will respect and recognize the adoption order. Yeah, so those are the conditions you have to prove. And basically here, assuming Alexander meets all the prerequisites, so we shall petition for adoption. So basically here we shall be petitioning for adoption, inter-country adoption. So basically here they are saying advise Lisa Williams on the remedy available to her and how she can obtain the same. What additional information would you require? For example, now this about, do you have any criminal record? Will your country accept this order? Like those questions, like those ones. So what issues are likely to arise and how would you deal with them? Basically, no one should be. You should have to get consent from the parents, if any, or the guardian, and you must not give any money to anyone, so as you can influence the adoption. So like that, those are some of the issues. Assuming that you have obtained all the necessary information and evidence to draft the necessary legal documents, and assume that you successfully presented and prosecuted the application and court delivered a ruling in favor of your court, wrote the relevant court order. So basically here, this is an adoption order which we are looking at here. So if Lisa were Ugandan called Alexandra, what would you advise be? So basically here, an advice, remember now here would be in the High Court, but then here we would go in the Chief Magistrate's Court. but also then under section 87, an adoption order may be granted to sole applicant or joint spouses where the applicant, at least one of the joint applicant, has attained the age of 25 years. The court may in the case of an application by one of the spouses that the other has consented to the adoption. So basically, you look at section 87, it has all those requirements. So assuming the meets the requirements, what would enable her? So really, the legal documents would still be an adoption, petition for adoption, but then here we are in the Chief Magistrate's Court. That's the only difference. So basically, that is it for both workshop 1 and workshop 2. Let us pass through this moot, but the moot is also very long, as if it's a workshop on its own. So they are saying that Oscar Tinimweba cohabited with his girlfriend Salima Nancha, and they were blessed with a baby who was born on 12. Oscar named her Cinderella. They separated in June 2020 because they had irreconcilable differences. So when they separated, Nancha took Cinderella to her mother, who lives in Buyukwe. So in June 2023, Nancha got married to Muhammad, and they carried to live together at Gayaza. In general, Oscar was very disturbed over Cinderella's state of health, malnourished. Oscar received a video recording showing Cinderella standing near, watching a rascal. I think these are the facts we had in workshop 1. These were the facts we had. Facts for Nancha. Nancha has been living with Cinderella since 2010. Nancha so basically here we are going to apply for what? For custody. I think these are the facts we had in workshop 1, where we are applying for custody of the child. So it will be that contention between this father and the wife. Oscar Tindamweba documents, certificate of title to the land which Oscar's home sits, photograph of Oscar, then Nancha's Cinderella's birth certificate, photograph of Nancha house, and the houses which she rents, evidence of ownership of these houses. Yes, Nancha has these things, but then if you are not using them to take care of the child, then how do you do that? Then we have here the order which was marked AA, custody of the Joy B, and is hereby granted to the applicant. The applicant shall provide food and clothes for Joy, child. The respondent shall pay 3 million. So I was right. So we shall be varying this 3 million in the other task we looked at. So basically that is it for family law. I hope you have a very good week. Family law is very easy if you read the act, because the act is very clear. It covers everything. There is no lacuna in the acts. There is no any ambiguous or ambiguity of the section. So please take time to read the Children's Act, and I'm sure you are going to master children's laws. But also please don't miss the videos that will be out on Saturday, Sunday, and by Monday. We're going to produce a video on professional code of conduct. We're going to produce a video on legal writing. We're going to produce a video on ADR, which will basically cover the entire syllabus. And if you listen to those things, then of course you will not lack what to write in the exam. I really wish you the best from the bottom of my heart. Please, you have to make sure that effective today you concentrate more on reading category B. But I know you can pass that, and it has been good since day one, and you have to have faith and believe in God. God can't let you down at this point. Just do your work, prepare. But then I'm telling you, God wants the best for you.